What's good, YouTube fam? Welcome back to another video with your boy Heem. Today I'm going to be reacting to NBA legends and players explain why Larry Bird will destroy today's NBA. Somebody from the other Larry Bird videos told me to watch this one. So I'm going to watch it, man, because I don't even know what to watch. So I just appreciate him for just giving me a video idea to watch. And of course, it's Larry Bird, man. Let's get it.
Today's NBA. This is the most intriguing player for this type of series because he will fit so well in today's era.
Oh, I'm sorry, let me replay it.
Today's NBA. This is the most intriguing player for this type of series because he will fit so well in today's era. He is a complete package of what you want in today's NBA. Larry Bird had many ways to impact the game, and his IQ was remarkable. You could argue he had the highest basketball IQ in NBA history. The most underrated part of Larry Bird's game for me was his defense. He led the league in defensive win shares 4 times and finished second twice. Only George Mikan, Bill Russell, and Tim Duncan have more seasons than him as league leaders, and only Hakeem Olajuwon is tied with him. Despite his reputation as more of an offensive player, this actually puts him in the company of some of the greatest defenders in NBA history. He also made 3 all-defensive teams. Sure, he wasn't a lockdown defender like Dennis Rodman in one-on-one situations, but he could hold his own and was great at reading passing lanes for steals. So he wasn't a liability, which was one of the biggest myths. And to prove that Larry Bird would dominate today's NBA, there are players like Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic who are...
And I said that in my other Larry Bird videos, bro. He remind me of a Luka Doncic, bro. He remind me of Luka, son.
Both players possess some of Larry Bird's qualities. Jokic's freakish passing ability.
But hey, son, y'all knew that already. Shit.
Luka's tough shot
It's
making
obvious.
and competitive mentality. But neither are a better shooter or defender than Larry. That is why in today's league it's difficult to find a player to compare Larry Bird to, because he is a composite of many players. The only thing you have to worry about with a prime Larry Bird
my
is
goodness.
whether he'll be ejected after
That
the
step
first
back
time
was
he
nasty.
player guardian, because he will destroy players mentally too. Like, the guy was telling players what he would do before he even had a ball in his hands. So I'm going to show you NBA legends and players sharing stories of how dominant and skilled Larry Bird was. And after this video, please tell me how many points you think a peak Larry Bird would average in today's league. Enjoy the video, man.
Prior to that NCAA tournament, still with the most watched NCAA Finals game in NCAA history, how much did you know about Larry Bird prior to that game?
Well, Shannon, the summer before, they had the WIT tournament,
Okay.
and they brought all the best college players together
Okay.
to play against the world.
Okay.
And man, I see this guy, blonde hair. I said, all right, let me see if he can play.
Okay.
Man, I'm sitting there watching him shoot, Shannon. He must have made 30 in a row, all net.
So he was Steph Curry before Steph.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there saying, this dude can play.
Okay.
Brothers, we always say, yeah, white dude really play.
Correct. Right.
So then I said,
Bro, black people know how to tell some stories, boy.
Jack Givens was player of the year that year.
Right.
He tore him up.
From Kentucky, Jack Gibbs from Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Especially Magic.
That's right. That same time.
Yeah, okay.
And Larry Bird was taking it to him. I said, oh, man. I'm calling back home, Shannon. Oh,
Giving him hell.
He for real. This
Right.
new Larry Bird?
Right.
Oh, he got it. He
Right.
can play. He's dominating Jack Givens.
Rich, I don't know. I think he might average 30. I mean, here's the thing. Nobody could ever rush Larry Bird. I know guys are way more athletic now, but his ability to shoot the ball, depending upon the team he's on, like, he can get anywhere he wants to be.
Larry Bird will easily adapt in his generation. Easily adapt, so he might be just like Luka. Fuck, he go just play like himself and still dominate. You see how Luka
I
play?
think his game translates to any time period.
Larry Bird talked a lot of shit. Bird used to tell me, look here, man, I'm gonna go shoot this motherfucking jumper in your face right there in that corner. And it's gonna be your Christmas present. I'm gonna wrap it up and bust your head open. All that shit. He was the coldest dude I ever seen with that shit, man. Everybody be talking about these greats. They don't be always mentioning him. He was the shit.
Yeah.
The shit, man. He'll give it to you any way he wanted to. Any way he wanted to. Larry Bird was cold. Cold dude, man. Real cold.
Every night, show what you got.
I don't know if I could ever tell you a memory. I'll just tell you that Larry was a phenomenal basketball player. The guy had unbelievable physical and mental toughness, which set him apart. I mean, that guy just would play through pain.
They'll be out for weeks.
Nothing bothered him. Unbelievable competitor. Great hands, great vision, great feel for the game. And just, could go out every single night and just play at an unbelievably high level. Didn't have to shoot the ball really well to have a good game because he did so many different things.
I said, the dude just knew how to play, right? And the thing that I loved about him is that he was a shit talker. And I wish you got a chance to play against Robert.
Damn.
I love playing against him because the dude would just tell you where he's going, shoot it in your face, talk shit to you, and run back down the floor.
Yeah.
And he was just one of those guys that, he just had it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He
Yeah, I know
had
what you're
it,
talking
and I
about.
saw it in college, and obviously saw it a whole lot closer when we get a chance to play against the Celtics. He was the biggest trash talker back in the day, but he would back it up.
The first guy there, he was the last guy.
Very frustrating guarding him. Talking shit and he backing it up.
Jumpers and the running and the movement and the concentration and the focus and the discipline and the sacrifice. He had it all. He wanted the light on him. He wanted the focus, and he wanted that ball. And if it ever got to the point where Casey Jones, a coach who we just loved and would do anything for, if Casey would ever call somebody else's play, Larry would just say, no, I'm shooting this ball, and he would.
2 seconds on the shot clock. Bird wants a three. I don't think he gets it.
And growing up in Boston, people all used to always talking about that he can't jump, he can't do this, he can't do that. And, a lot of my friends was like that, So, I got to the league, I called all my friends back up. I said, all that trash that you were talking, you need to squash all that. This man is great. He can, whatever you were saying for a man who can't jump, he's demolishing everybody.
So your guys are saying, how can you let this guy?
Oh, he's doing it on everybody. He's doing it on everybody. He's doing it on the best defensive players in the league.
I have to give the edge to Bird. I mean, he can get his own shot off. He can get his teammates. Basically, what Magic did, he was able to do, plus be an opposite threat all the way out to the three-point line. That's an incredible asset. They were pretty much the same size. Yeah. They were both slow. They were both, they were not both leapers. Yeah. But Bird, that outside three, and they were both high IQ guys, but I got to give the edge to Bird. It's a great team.
This was a legendary game where the college guys came in.
He got no flaws, like defense, pass, shoot.
Started getting back, he ended it, right?
So funny. So when we got an invitation, it was 8 of us. It was myself, Bobby Hurley, Allen Houston, Chris Webber, Rodney Rogers, Eric Montrose.
Shout out Rodney Rogers, man. Shout out to OG.
And Grant Hill was on that squad. So we get to La Jolla, San Diego, and we check into the Marriott. We go up to our floor, and we're walking in the corridor, and we see this tall white guy coming down the hall. And I'm like, damn, that look like Larry Bird. So Larry Bird coming down the hallway, me and Chris Webber, and Larry Bird, you don't realize how big Larry Bird is until you stand at a close to Larry Bird.
Exactly. That's a good
Larry Bird legit 6'10".
Nah, real talk. When I first stood against him when he was coaching the place, I was like, damn.
So he walked by us. He says, "Y'all those college guys?" And we was like, "Yeah, we the college guys." And he looked at us and he said, "Get some fucking rest. It's gonna be a long week," and walked off. And we was like, "What the hell?"
What y'all got us into?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, all right, what's going on here?
I wanted to say what's up, and he just said it like dang.
Larry broke into the league, rookie of the year, and a strong first year. So I knew that I'm teaming up with someone that was franchise changing type talent.
This guy, I think he was born to play basketball. Seeing him come in and making the adjustment early, taking a team that had won 20 games the year before, and the next year, they're 40 plus, and the next year is 60 plus.
When Bird was at Indiana State, and the first time we really got a chance to see him play on television, Indiana State played Bradley, and then fast forward, then they played DePaul, and Mark McGwire, Terry Cummins, Teddy Grubbs on that team, and Larry Bird just, you know, he does his thing, and then of course they went on and they played Magic at Michigan State. But Bird was again, one of the greatest shooters, champions, competitors to ever play in our game.
You now join Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain as the only players in the 40-year history of the NBA to win the league's MVP award 3 years in a row.
Yeah, Rob, I wish you would have played against him, man. Larry Bird was the biggest shit talker in the league back in the day. He would tell you exactly where he was going, what he was going to do. And he did that to us in the finals. He was like, guys, don't worry about it. I'm going right over here to the corner. I'm going to catch the ball, I'm going to shoot it, and then shit y'all can do about it. I mean, just like, and he did exactly that. You know, so I wish you would have got a chance to play against him.
You know, because I always think about that moment. I don't know how true this is, but you remember the time when he was playing Atlanta, and he told the guy, he says, I'm a bank of 3 on you, and the guy's just bullshit. So
Yeah. On the out-of-bound play.
Throughout the game, throughout the game, he never got sick. So you know what? He goes back in the game. I think he had like 50 points that game or something.
Yeah, I noticed because Kevin McHale ended up having the most points ever scored by a Boston Celtic, right? And Larry told me he should have got 60 because he broke it against Atlanta like 2 or 3 days later.
Yeah.
Damn.
And the Atlanta bench got in trouble because they out here rooting for like, I'm like,
you can see it. If you go back and look at the tape, you can see the bench. Every shot he made, they're going crazy.
It's like, he gonna bank this one. It's like, see, that's what you want. Because when someone's telling you what they can do and you can't stop it, you know they're a bad man.
Bad
So,
man.
yeah. But I look at guys in this era now and you say, okay. You look at Bird and says, man, I could have stopped him because, you know, he's slow. Sort of like Luka now. Luka,
Yes.
You watch Luka. Luka is so freaking slow and you're like, why can't they stop that?
Right.
I'm like,
Yes.
but when you crafty, you know how to play, that's all you need.
Yeah, I think Bird is fast compared to Luka.
Facts. Really, though.
Slow as hell, and he'll get by you. But Larry probably looked like fucking sprinter compared to the way Luka played.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I think it was 86.
Oh, man.
So we was playing Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. So they gave me the task.
I'm sorry, I let you stop.
Of guarding Larry Bird. Guarding Larry Bird. I'm like this 25-year-old rookie in the league. They said, Dennis, you have to guard him. And I'm like, and you know what I'm saying? Guard him. So that was my whole job, to guard the toughest guy on the team, on the other teams. So, so I'm guarding him. And every time I turn my head, he's over there in the 3-point line. He said, I'm over here, Rook. I'm like, I gotta go out there and run after like a dumbass. Let's go out there trying to contest it. Big man hit the 3. I'm like, okay, da-da-da.
I remember the Portland game. It was, I think it was Super Bowl Sunday. We're playing Portland Trailblazers. He had like 52 points or something like that.
God damn.
He's a remarkable, crazy 3-point shot. He was leaning. And I was like, this nobody's going to get a shot.
DJ again to make the inbound pass. The double team of Bird. Larry, fake, fall away.
He's leaning, falling, gets a 3-point line.
That was nasty.
One thing I do remember now, this is practice, is I'm making a backdoor cut, and Larry actually spun the ball. Like, I had never dreamed of spinning the ball. He back spun the ball, bounced out in front of me. I about pulled a hamstring because I thought the damn ball was going out of bounds. It popped back up and it hit me in my hands. He just said, you get open, I'll hit you. And I went like, ooh, okay then. I was like, and that I do remember, because I remember thinking, I'm going to try that spin pass. I tried it once and said, I'm not doing that ever again. I get threw it out of bounds.
Off of the ball. Back to Larry Bird to McHale.
In the league at that time, do you have a feel for who players felt was the better player between those two?
To be honest with you, the black players gravitated to Magic and the white players gravitated to Bird.
Yeah.
He's keeping it a buck,
and the
son.
people with sense could see the difference.
I wasn't even born around that time, I
You know,
know.
and it wasn't about color or anything else.
Yeah,
It was, hey, this guy
Shit.
can ball.
Yeah.
And that's why we used to always look at Bird like, maybe he's not white. You know, in a little bit of a way. Because he's got a lot of swag.
Yeah.
Before the word was really hot.
Played in the Garden. I got checked.
They
in the
showed
game.
they respect
Larry
him,
Bird
though.
was just standing there, and I walked right up to him.
They might ain't like him, but they had
How
to
you
respect
doing,
him.
Mr. Bird? You know, and then he just had his hands on his hip, and he doesn't even look at me the whole time. He looks at Paul Westphal because they were teammates together, and he goes, Paul, I know y'all ain't got this fucking rookie back here. You gotta be fucking. And I got my hand out. My hand is still out, so I'm just like, oh well. Somebody come guard 33 because I think I'm gonna guard some. Like for him to talk trash and never even icon or talk to me, I was like, ooh, this dude is dangerous. Magic was cool when I met him. I got on the court in the form and went right up to him. Forget about the game. Hi, Magic. How you doing? Say, hey, what's up, baby? LA, you home? Yeah.
So the next morning, we get up and we go to practice, and Roy Williams is our coach, but we only got 8. So we like, well, how are we practicing, and what are we practicing for? So we spent, I want to say, an hour doing the 3-man weave. And I'm like, what's going on here? Then they bus us to another location where the dream team is practicing. And there's about 400 people standing outside waiting for the dream team to come out. They take us up to a top floor, and the dream team is practicing. They're finishing up their practice. And then they say, all right, get loose and stretch out. We're like, okay, we playing? They're like, yeah, we're going to play next. So we get out the gates. Like the first 15 minutes, we kicking their ass. we running them all out. Bobby Hurley in the lane, killing John Stockton. So they stopped the game and turned off the score. I think we were up like 72, 66 or something, 64, something like that. We lit their ass up, and then something happened. We're sitting there, and we get back to the hotel. Rodney Rogers says something to, it's a group of them. It's Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and everybody's shooting the shit. And Rodney Rogers said, hey Larry, you ain't hit a jumper since 84. Magic heard that shit. And we ain't think nothing of it. The next day we came in, and I never seen this, and this one I was like, this is a different breed. Magic Johnson fed Larry Bird the ball probably about 8 times in a row down court. Larry Bird got the ball on Rodney Rogers, and every time he was about to make a move, he told him what he was going to do. One dribble, pull up going left, off glass.
He said off glass.
One dribble going right, spin, shot.
And it's crazy how they still couldn't stop that, bro.
9 times or 8 times in a row, left the court to go lay down because he couldn't sit on a bench. He had to lay down because of his back. And said, young fella, look like 84, huh?
Last time he made.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow. I said, so that's they kicked our ass for the rest of the week.
Larry and those guys, it's something I've watched my whole life. I turn around and Larry goes, what's up, Sal? What's up, Larry? He goes, you made it. Yeah, man. He goes, y'all not double teaming? I said, nah, just me on you. He goes, for real? I go, yeah. Go, yo, mouse in the house. And he runs down to the post and posts me up. And boom, score. He said, it's going to be a long night, Sal.
And Larry with a long jump shot. We up 1, and we come out of the huddle, and Bird looks at me, and Kent Benson is guarding Bird. And Bird looks at me and he goes, he's got no shot. And he says it right to Benson as he was standing there, right? And sure enough, he gets it in on the left side of the court, takes it down to the baseline.
Here's Dennis, gets it into Bird. Larry, a runner.
Knocks it down, they win by 1. He walks off, he goes, I told you, you can't put him on me. He said, you better get somebody else who can guard.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me how many
I
points
fuck with that at time.
Bird will average in today's NBA. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and show love to the YG gang. And I'm out.
I think he averaged about 35, maybe 40. Cause a lot of these NBA players soft, bro. He talked to them crazy, bro. They will be ready to cry and shit, bro. But he just like Luka, but he better. Luka averaging like what, 28, 30? He'll be averaging way more than Luka, bro. But it was a good video, y'all. I enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of y'all night, man. I love y'all. Good night, y'all. Peace.